What's going on, everyone? So today I got a cool little tip for you. Okay, I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, okay, because I'm gonna say right off the bat that this cool tip, it's not gonna sight your pins in 100%. It's gonna ballpark you, okay? It's gonna save you some arrows, but it's not gonna be a sure thing. So don't use this tip and jump into the woods and expect to shoot an animal. It's going to take a little bit more work than just this, okay? But with that said, this tip can help you in a few different ways, okay? The first way it's going to help you out, it can help you sight in your higher range pins. And I'm talking about 40, 50, 60, or whatever, how many pins you have after 30 yards, okay? Without shooting an arrow. The second way this is going to help you, and this happens to all of us, I know this happens to everybody. If you're out in the woods, you're hunting, and you can be as careful as you want. I know you all know this, but a twig or a stick always seems to find its way through your housing and, to your pins. And you bump your pin, the whole time you're waiting for a deer, you're wondering if you're going to hit the thing because you bumped your pins in. So this is gonna help tell if your pins are good or not, okay? We'll shoot an arrow, then we'll get going. All right. So, personally, as you can see, I like to shoot a hinge release. I don't shoot caliper releases a lot. I'm gonna start because I like to get better with it, and I have a lot of friends that hunt with them. So I came up with this little tip using a caliper release. If you don't have one, you can use a thumb release or any other release. You can get creative with it. You can make marks technically on anything, but it's kind of cooler with the caliper because it's a caliper. I ended up picking this thing up off of Amazon for like 12 bucks. I don't know if this is even gonna work. Anyway, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take a silver Sharpie, or any color Sharpie that's not the color of the release, obviously. And at the top of the calipers, you're gonna put 2 dots on each one. You're gonna take your bow and you're gonna sight in your 20-yard pin and your 30-yard pin. Business as usual, okay? You can get away with not losing a lot of arrows at 20, 30 yards, so you'll be okay with that one. After you get those sighted in, you're gonna take your sights, because now you got a gap in between your 20-yard pin and your 30-yard pin, right? So you're gonna take your release, you're gonna put it up to your pins. It's probably the best and easiest way to put it up against the end of your pins, not so much the middle. You probably get a little bit more accurate measurement. You're gonna take your caliper until the top dot's lined up with your 20-yard pin, and the bottom dot is lined up with your 30-yard pin, okay? And then when those are lined up, you're gonna put a mark right where your trigger currently is, okay? See how I did this? Right under the trigger there, you can see it? All right, so now, when I pull my trigger back and I get to that spot I marked, that's the gap that I'm gonna want for the rest of my pins, okay? So now, I set my pins accordingly. I make sure the trigger's where I mark the line, and I measure each one all the way down, okay? Again, it's gonna be a ballpark. It's not gonna be a sure thing, but it will put you close, guys, okay? This will help, I tested this out when I first got this bow, and I had thrown everything on here, and it worked good for me. I did have to adjust a little bit after, but I was, I didn't have a lot of time, and I figured that's a good starting point, and it was. When you're in the woods, you can use this if you think, obviously if you bump your whole housing, this isn't gonna help, all right? I get that. But if you just think you bumped your sights, you can kind of just check with this, Go to your line and then check, see if all your pins, and that's why it's important to do it from the top of your pins, so you can make sure they didn't bend weird or anything like that. Everything's where it should be. That break was a little funny. I don't know if I liked it. Try this out, guys. So, and an important thing to remember when you're doing this is after you get all your measurements and you mark under your trigger, the second you do anything with this bow, you change the draw weight, you change your D-loop, anything that you change on your bow that's going to affect your sights, this is going to be off. You're going to need to get some acetone or some rubbing alcohol, and it'll take this right off. I actually messed up when I first got this and I tried to do it, and I had it in the wrong spot, so I had to use some acetone, took it right off. But anyway, guys, give that a try. I'm not going to take too much of your time up. I just wanted to get that quick tip out there. Obviously, companies do a good job when you buy a new sight. They come pretty even. If you notice that, they already come like perfectly spaced. Okay, so you're probably all set, you know. But in the case where you get a used sight, whether it's from a shop or if it's from a friend or a family, doesn't matter. But sometimes they're all over the place and you don't know where the hell the pin's gonna, you don't know. So it's just a good little gauge. It's a good little guide to have on you, just so you can check, especially if you're in the woods. Because for me, I like that. I can just check them. If I bump I drop my bow or whatever, I can just check it really quick. Again, if I hit the housing, I'm kind of screwed anyway. But that's why, another conversation, you should mark where everything is after everything's sighted in. But anyway, you have an awesome weekend, and as always, keep shooting, but keep it fun. All right.